Namaskar, I am Karuna Vaishne from Hansraj Model School, Punjabi Bagh, New Delhi. Science is the great adventure of human mind, and nothing is more rewarding than exploring the unknown. So let us begin this journey of learning and discovery together. Today, we shall discuss the approaches, methods and strategies of teaching science for secondary level. The objectives of the session are to enable educators to accommodate different learning styles, abilities and intelligence. Participate, connect and add excitement to the content being delivered. Select appropriate teaching methods or strategies for teaching concepts of science. Make teaching learning of science effective and interactive. Before commencing on the path of teaching science, the question arises as to why science is to be taught, why the subject has been given so much weightage as to be taught during the 10 years of one's school life. The answer to the same may be discovered in its various applications, advantages and uses in day-to-day life. The study of science provides the opportunity of developing a mental faculty of reasoning, imagination, memory, observation, concentration, analysis, originality and systematic thinking. Adherence to the laws and rules, the power of distinction between right and wrong, and respect for others' point of view are some other desirable traits of character developed through the study of science. It also provides children with self-confidence and insight to solve any life problem faced by them. In short, the study of science teaches us to lead a successful and meaningful life. According to National Education Policy 2020, the transformation of curriculum and pedagogy of science is recommended to minimize rote learning and to encourage holistic development and 21st century skills such as critical thinking, creativity, scientific temper, communication, collaboration, problem solving, ethics, social responsibility and digital literacy. Now the question arises, does our teaching need some sort of science for its effective functioning and better output? It is true that one must be able to teach in a quite effective way by putting the least input in terms of the material resources. The science of teaching, that is pedagogy, can help an educator to think about the best possible methods, strategies, tactics and techniques to be employed for the teaching of the topic in hand in the existing teaching learning situations. When we enter the classroom, we should be well prepared with the methods, strategies to be adopted for providing the desired learning experiences to the learners. The two broad approaches for teaching science as prevalent today in the schools are deductive approach and inductive approach. Now, what is deductive approach? It is simply coming to the specific concept from the general concept. This means we are providing the learners with the rules and principles and simply asking them to verify the same with examples. It uses a top-down approach, which means abstract theory to specific instances. It is a teacher-centric approach. But on the other hand, the inductive approach of teaching science starts from a specific concept, phenomena and ends on a general concept. It uses a bottom-up approach, which means this approach starts with specific observations or facts and then works to find out a generalized conclusion that explains the facts. Besides being embedded in lectures and discussions, it may take many forms like discovery learning, inquiry-based learning, problem-based learning, project-based learning, case-based learning. Now, it is a student-centric approach. Let us consider a scenario where a nomenclature of carbon compounds is being taught in the class. While teaching it, teachers explain the concepts and rules of nomenclature. Then diverse ways are used to let students practice the concept. For example, the teacher writes a chemical formula of carbon compounds followed by the explanation of nomenclature using rules. After this, they hand out the worksheets where students are asked to name the given carbon compounds. Now, this approach is simply a deductive approach of teaching science, as we are providing the learners with rules and asking them to verify the same with examples. On the other hand, when it comes to the inductive approach, a teacher starts with the example, data and observations related to various names of carbon compounds like propanol, butane, methane, ethene, and it's like putting together a puzzle. Students examine individual observations and work their way towards seeing the theories and principles. Now understand the inductive approach in detail. Let us consider that in a class, students are provided with various solutions that they use in daily life. For example, soap solution, baking powder, lemon juice, vinegar, sour milk. Now they work in groups to observe the given samples carefully and test them using different indicators. Students segregate the samples based on the changes they observe in the colors of the given indicators. They will state their own logic and findings and classify the given samples as acid, bases and salts. So, here students starts with specific observations and then work to find a generalized conclusion that explain the observations. Now, let us try to segregate the topics: classification of elements, resistivity, uses of lenses and mirrors, defect of vision, coal formation, types of chemical reactions, homologous organs and analogous organs, and persistence of vision based on approaches deductive or inductive to be used for classroom teaching. The deductive method can be used to explain classification of elements, coal formation, resistivity, persistence of vision, homologous organ and analogous organ. However, the defect of vision, types of chemical reactions, uses of lenses and mirrors can be taught by an inductive approach. Now, we would like to discuss the most common methods or strategies for the teaching of science. Methods and strategies of teaching science can broadly be grouped under the following heads. Number 1, direct instruction, which include interactive lectures, deductive and inductive method. Number 2, demonstration, means laboratory method. Third, indirect instruction, which include project method, problem solving method, inquiry or discovery method. One by one, we will discuss these methods and strategies in detail. First, direct instructions, which include interactive lectures and deductive and inductive method. Deductive and inductive method we have already discussed in detail. Before discussing interactive lectures, look at these two scenarios. Which one will you choose? Scenario A, we show students creating chaos in the class, or scenario B, we shows a classroom where students are interacting with the teacher, having participation and making an interactive learning environment. Of course, you all will choose scenario B. All we love to see is a happy and interactive classroom. Questions always arise whether we can use the lecture method in teaching science. Now, lectures can be interactive and worthwhile when the teachers intellectually engage and involve students. Besides, we can make our lessons interactive by adopting various techniques like group discussion, questioning, brainstorming, storytelling, role play, think, pair, share, debate, audio-visual aids, use of written material, handouts. First, we should keep in mind that to make teaching interactive, We only need to guide these students. And you will be surprised to see their involvement and their creativity. Let me show a few examples where these techniques are incorporated to make classroom more engaging and interactive. Like, students creatively organize the role play to explain the function of digestive system. In the same way, groups of students produced beautiful stories to explain how the forest can act as an independent unit. With little guidance, students could demonstrate activities to explain topics like method of charging by conduction, organize a quiz competition on weather, climate and adaptation. Now, these are only a few examples. These techniques engage students and allow them to immediately apply content and provide feedback to the teacher. The teacher must select appropriate technique for a particular topic and remain flexible. To make interactive lectures effective, we should maintain proper eye contact with the students and make use of effective communication skills. Make use of different and interesting illustrative audio-visual aids. And please do not forget to add humor. We should make our environment light and happy. Keep the content logically connected and keep your instructions simple and easy to understand. The teachers may use this method for all the science concepts. And you know, science without demonstration or lab related activities can be boring, dull and inactive. Can you make long lasting learning of concepts like rules for refraction of light and refraction of light through lenses, properties of acid, bases and salts, chemical properties of metals and non-metals without demonstration? I believe your answer will be no. So now we will discuss demonstration or laboratory method. It may be considered the most practicable and useful method of teaching science, in which scientific facts and principles are practically demonstrated as well as explained to all the students of class simultaneously. For example, while teaching about refraction of light through a rectangular glass slab, teacher may ask the students to trace the path of ray of light passing through a rectangular glass slab from different angles, followed by the measurement of angle of incidence, angle of refraction and angle of emergence. Now, the students will interpret the results. To make a success of demonstration and laboratory method, three things are necessary. Number one, you should be aware of the aims of the demonstration you are showing the students. Number two, use the unambiguous language so that students may understand the concepts easily. Number three, the students should be asked to draw inferences and results of the experiment instead of telling them in advance. Also prepare some reflective questions after the demonstration. Can you think of some activities for demonstration not mentioned in books? And try to involve students during experiment and incorporate mobile lab kits to make class more engaging. Now we will talk about indirect method. It is a learner-centered approach to learning in which students observe, investigate and draw inferences from the data. It includes project method, problem solving method and inquiry based method. So, number one, project method. It is not simply a method specific to the teaching of science, but almost all the subjects of school curriculum can be taught with the help of this method. For solutions of daily needs or problems, the students pick up a suitable project to be completed in a collaborative and cooperative way. While planning and executing the project, they must perform several activities which in turn may need the knowledge and skills in connection with various subjects of the school curriculum. Here, the teacher acts as an facilitator. There are some definite planned steps necessary for the project method. The first step is providing a situation. The second step is the purpose and objective of choosing the project. Third, planning of the project. Fourth, execution of the project. The fifth one, evaluation of the project. And the last step is recording of the project. For example, for providing situations, the students may be taken to a nearby site where solar panels are installed. Now, students may desire to have such setups of renewable sources of energy in their own school. With a lively discussion, the teacher may make them a work for use of solar and hydro energy with their own efforts. So, the purpose and objectives of choosing such projects are also made quite clear to them. After that, a useful discussion is held for chalking out the plan regarding the work and activities, keeping in mind the execution of the project. As a result, the plan is drawn up and work is assigned to students in several small groups. Now, students are assigned distinct roles for the effective execution of the project in a cooperative way. And as we know, evaluation is a continuous process. So, evaluation of the project and efforts of the individual and group work is made from time to time, and there should be a truthful, proper recording of the work and events related to every step of the project. Working on such projects presents enormous opportunities for gaining practical experience and the need to acquire theoretical knowledge regarding several school subjects. Try to incorporate project methods in teaching types of chemical reactions in daily life, electric consumption, etc. Now, look at the situation. The severe diseases troubling people as well as animals living in the city are caused by the open disposal of waste. Can you think of some innovative solutions to the given problem? Yes, the problem solving method. It is a method which provides opportunities to the learner for analyzing and solving the problem faced by them by applying their previous knowledge along with the present means through systematic and scientific steps, and then arriving at some basic conclusions. These results can be utilized in the future for the solution of similar problems in identical situations. Teaching waste disposal and management effectively involves a structured problem solving method, and the steps to achieve this are: number 1, they will identify the problem. Now, students will try to understand the problem of excessive waste generation in the school through research, brainstorming, discussion or data collection. Then they will define the problem related to the waste generation in the school. Now, they will collect the data. They will conduct a waste audit to identify the major waste sources like paper, metals, plastics, glass or e-waste. Then they will experiment to find out the solutions. They will brainstorm and evaluate the potential solutions to waste management problem solving with expert talks and field trips. Then they will formulate the most innovative solution. For that, they will create a detailed plan for implementing the most innovative solution and start with a small scale project like recycling program, followed by educating students, staff and stakeholders on its use. Last, they will evaluate the outcome and re-evaluate the conclusion. They will track and evaluate the amount of waste produced versus recycled, followed by the feedback, discussion on success and areas for improvement. And the suggestive topics that can be taught using problem solving method are: number 1, steps to reduce energy consumption, calculation or mirror formula and lens formula. Are we looking for a teaching strategy that will engage our students in learning process through asking questions and investigating a real world problems? If so, we should consider using inquiry-based learning in our classroom. It is designed to reflect how students learn and engage themselves in a scientific inquiry. It is a student-centered teaching method that encourages students to ask questions and investigate real-world problems. Inquiry-based learning has been shown to improve critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, and creativity. Let us take a look at some examples. Science experiments. Here the students worked in a team to investigate how heat can be transferred in different material mediums and what are the various modes of transfer of heat. Field trips. Students learn and investigate when they are taken on field trips. They can also be taken to the school lawns and open ground. Look at this slide. How students are trying to learn about soil, nature, biotic and abiotic component of nature. Group work. Best output we get when we work in groups. Students work in groups to investigate real world problems like solid waste management, wastewater management, renewable source of energy, types of motion, and improve upon their critical thinking skill, problem solving skill through inquiry based learning. Have you ever thought of taking traditional toys in your classroom? If not, please try to do the same. Just imagine a class response when you enter carrying some toys. Imagine the happiness all around the class. Yes, you heard it right. Toys in a class. Just recall your childhood. Our childhood was full of traditional toys. And we unknowingly learned so many concepts while playing with those toys. If we use toy-based approach in our classroom, believe me, this can be the most effective way of developing 21st century skills such as communication, creative and critical thinking, reasoning, problem solving, adaptability and many more. This approach can enhance students' social emotional skills while ensuring a fun, enjoyable learning experience. For example, look at these toys. One is wooden cannon in which few wheels are removed. Another is a plastic jeep with all 4 wheels. Now here we can start the discussion about why wheels are important. What would happen to wooden cannon where a few wheels have been removed? In which case friction will be more. Many more concepts can be discussed using these 2 toys, which will make class more interactive and joyful. You can ask students to speak about concepts that they might connect with the same toys other than friction. Maybe they may compare plastic with wood or traditional toys versus modern toys and many more. And you will be thrilled to see the students' response by introducing the toy in class. There are many more toys that can be used to make teaching learning more effective, like spinning top, spinning wheel, that flute, drum, smiley ball, balancing ball, etc. You may find several scientific facts or concepts that can be explained using toys easily. Now reflect on your learning and try to list down the scientific concept or principles that you can explain using the toys given in the image. Hope you can list many scientific concepts that can be explained using the toys. When we showed the same images to the group of educators, they appreciated the wider application of toy pedagogy and along with enhancing interest in the current topic. The educators were also able to relate these images for explaining centripetal force, centrifugal force, surface tension, atmospheric pressure, Bernoulli's theorem. So we clearly see that scientific concepts find their best solution in toys to enhance retention, explain concept and apply knowledge. Learning is the never-ending process. One should always be eager to learn, unlearn and relearn new things with time. Whatever the method, it is the educator's responsibility to ensure that content is being delivered correctly and comprehensively while retaining the attention of the students and making learning joyful. धन्यवाद.